anybody out there?
I'm here.
Just us.
We're just doing our own little musical.
We want to know who's listening.
Yeah, we do. Do we mean human or spirit? I mean, spirit's always listening.
I want to know which humans are listening to us.
I do too.
So if you're listening to this podcast and you know us personally, text us.
Oh, I like that.
And if you don't know us personally, email us.
Kalina's number is 480.
I mean, that would be fun. See who texts me. I'm up for a good time.
Right? Who knows what kind of text you're going to get after that, girl.
What did we just put out in the
universe? I
know.
There's like a mouse behind me. I don't know if this is picking up on the mic. It's this squeaky chair. Every time I move. Do you hear that? I was like, is there a mouse?
You gotta be really quiet. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome. I am Kalina Converse.
And I'm Kaci Carlson.
This is
Medium Mixology.
Today we are drinking this is like a pro mom tip.
Yeah, we love this.
For all you soccer moms, or maybe you're just have a really boring job and you need to spice things up. We went to Starbucks and we got the cranberry.
What is it? Is it a lemonade or a tea? Isn't it a tea?
No, it's
Starbucks. We're sorry.
It's refresher.
Oh, the refresher.
Cranberry. Yeah. It's not orange. Cranberry orange refresher.
I thought the refreshers are tea. I don't know. It's fine. The refresher.
We got a refresher, and inside of it
is a little bit of rum.
Yeah, it's Malibu coconut rum.
You guys, it's so good.
As you can see our glasses, if you're joining us on YouTube, our glasses are half empty already.
Yeah. They're half full, but our hearts are full.
Oh, yeah. I said half empty. What's wrong with me?
Okay.
They're half full.
They're half full.
They were
fine.
full.
Yeah. So let's cheers.
They're that good.
They are that good. Sip and see.
Spirits and mediums.
Wild and free. Cheers.
Cheers. I like pause for a photo op.
Oh. Tilt our head to the side.
What are we talking about today, Kaci?
Well, we're talking about Clairsentience, but should we do a quick chills of the week or just get right into it?
Let's do chills of the week. We haven't done it in a while.
No, we haven't. Okay, do you want to go?
No, because I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, so I'll go. Okay, this just happened on Sunday. So I'm at church and we're praying. And so I have my eyes closed. You know, I'm tucking. I'm doing it right now. I don't know why. I'm tucking my chin. I just cued like I'm instructing.
You look very reverent.
Right? I was in my reverence space. And so I'm bowing my head. And I hear in my right ear so loud. It was like, Mama. And it was so loud that I opened my eyes and I turned to my right. And my teenage daughter, 17, she's sitting right there. She has her eyes closed. She's being very reverent. And I'm like, it wasn't her. She doesn't even call me mama. My kids don't say mama. They just say mom, or my little punk teenagers say Kaci to be buttheads. And so I'm like, mama. And I look to my right and there's no kids. It's all sweet, elderly people, men and women, just sitting there reverently. And that's when I'm like, and then I heard and felt the spirit, basically like, hey, it's a spirit, stupid. So now I'll be honest. I don't know if that was me telling myself, hey, dummy, or if that was the spirit.
Oh, it wasn't in real life. It was in spirit life.
Right. Yeah. So, and then I got that. And so I started scanning to see where I'm pulled, which mom, because there were a lot of women around me. And again, they were older though.
You're like, where do you belong?
Yes. Where do you belong? And then it came in quick. I got 7 years old. His name was, and now I don't have it. I think it was Danny, but it came through quick before. And he was 7 years old and he had passed away from a drowning.
Oh.
Yeah. And it happened a long time ago. I felt like the late 80s. So he actually would be a little bit younger than me. If he was still here, but he kept saying, tell her it wasn't her fault. And so I'm looking to the right because I heard him in my right side. But then every time I looked to the right, my chin would naturally just start to move to the left. And there was only one couple to my left in front of me. And so I looked at that woman and it was like, I heard yes. Like that's mama. Mm-hmm. That's her. And so right then though, as I connected what mom it is, it was done. They got done with the prayer. Everyone stood up. We're leaving. And I turned to my husband and my daughter and I'm like, I just heard mama. Did you guys hear mama? They're like, no, what are you talking about? And so I explained the whole thing to them. And I'm like, it is her son. He was 7 years old. He passed. My 19-year-old walks over and she hears me telling my husband a 17-year-old. And she's like, Mom, I swear, if you go over and you start giving some reading at church to this poor older woman, I'm out. Like I'm leaving. Taylor. She's like, I do not know you. I'm out of here. was
That's
like,
amazing.
she had already left. And I just felt like, well, maybe it wasn't time. Maybe she wasn't in the right space for it, so I didn't push it, but he followed me the rest of the day. No joke. I'm sitting down to have dinner and I felt him and heard him again. He just kept replaying what happened. Kept saying 7-year-old boy.
I very much think and feel that Spirit is smart. So if you didn't deliver the message, and I feel like Spirit will find a way to get the message delivered, or you will, and I actually feel like this is probably more by chance what's going to happen, is you're going to
see her again.
Bump into her at church and you're going to be like, actually.
Yeah. And then that might be just a better
I think
time. She might be more
needs
open.
that message to happen. Spirit is so smart. So,
it's true. Yeah.
That's
he will
crazy.
find a way. Yeah.
I love
so
how
that
your kids are like, no.
Yeah. Oh, they shut it down so fast. Oh, the best part is I turn and tell them all this, and my husband is standing by my daughter, and I was like, and they just looked at me. I'm like, he's 7 years old. I tell him the whole thing. Here's his name. That's his mom. And my daughter gave no reaction, the 17-year-old. And then my husband literally just goes like this. And he holds up a thumbs up. And so, of course, my teenager starts cracking up laughing. And I was like, I get a thumbs up. Bro, a spirit just spoke to me.
If I would have been there with you, I would have been like, let's go together.
Let's go tell her together. Totally. You'd be like, that's so cool. Let's go talk to her. And then, but I was like, I got a thumbs up. And then the oldest was like, no, absolutely not.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, whatever. Where's Kalina?
I know.
Kalina, come to church with me.
Okay, so actually my chills of the week is at church too.
Oh, I love this.
So I love that you kind of like remind me.
Good
Okay,
segue.
so I'm sitting at church, and there is something this really plays into today's episode, because we're going to talk about clairsentience today. And clairsentience is Claire feeling, like feeling things.
Yeah.
And I think there's something magic about sitting in church, whether you're religious or not, sitting in a space where people are singing hymns or praising a higher power, source-like energy, no matter what type of church it is.
Yep.
It brings in, it raises the vibration of the entire room of the building. And so it's funny that you got information praying.
Yeah.
Because I was doing the same thing. So
Oh, my
we
word.
don't go to the same church. I'm sitting in church with my family. And you guys, I have 6 people, and then it's my husband and I. So there are 8 people sitting in one pew. We take up like a whole pew at church,
For
right?
sure.
And it's a pretty traditional church. So there's no live band or anything like that. And we're sitting there and singing, and everybody's, listening and doing what we do in church. And all of a sudden, I hear a J name. And I want to say it was Jerry. And I'm like, Jerry. And I am looking all around, just like you did.
Yeah.
And the guy right in front of me, he was balding. He was to the front of me and to the right.
Yeah.
He was balding. And I'm like, I wonder if his name's Jerry. And and then I felt mom. And I was like, oh, his mom is here. And then there was another woman. And I was like, oh, I wonder what his wife's name is. And so then I was like, I'm getting a K name. And I'm like, I don't really know. And so I'm just sitting there, and I turn and look at my husband, who, like, we have a couple kids in between us. So he's like a couple children down. And I'm like, what are their names? And he's like, what? And I'm like, his mom is here. And he's literally like, no, she's not. No.
Yeah, he's like, no, it's just Jerry. He doesn't have his mom.
So he's like, I was like trying to tell him I hear, like I'm getting him for, like, I'm like sign language.
Girl, we have to go to church together, because only we will get it. And the moment you say that to me, I'll be like, oh, yeah?
You don't even have to talk. You could just look at me and I'd be like, yes.
We get it. We'll just telepathically say it. Yeah.
Well, so I was like, his mom is here, and Andrew's literally just like, okay, this is not happening right now.
Yep.
So because he was like, no, I turn and look. I have little kids right next to me. So my teens are to the right of me. So instead of looking to the left where Andrew is, I turn and look to the right to my teen daughters. And I'm like, his mom's here. Like,
do you guys hear that? Do you get it?
And it's like, nobody cares.
They just can't appreciate it.
No, they're just like, whatever. So then I turn back to look at Andrew to my left, and I'm like, is his name Jerry? Or does his name start with a J? Is it like James or Jerry or something? And Andrew's like, I don't know. But we have this like online, like it's an app, and it's a
like
roster.
a directory.
Yeah, it's a directory of everybody in the church.
Yeah.
So he pulls it up in the middle of like the sermon, and he's like pulling it up. He picks it up, and their names are Jerry and Kathy.
Oh my word.
And I'm like getting so excited, like,
yeah, this is it.
It's here. Like,
this is for Jerry.
Like, no. And so again, church ends, everybody stands up, like we leave, and I'm just, that was that. But it's just so.
I know, because I'm like, well, they had a message, I guess, but maybe next time. We'll see you next time, Jer.
Yeah. So I know, our poor family.
Yeah. And they don't care anymore. Like I keep thinking they'll get as excited as I am and I get the thumbs up. Like, cool.
I would
like,
say
whatever.
It's really cool because Brindley does. Brindley genuinely is like my biggest cheerleader, my oldest, and Kaya too. But Brindley is like, she has the gift so strong.
That's
like
why, that's like Logan. Yeah. He will get excited.
Yeah. Because he feels it too and he sees it too. And so like, Brindley's stories are just as crazy. And so when she gets that, I try and like be her hype girl so she can be mine too.
It is nice. At least we have one. One out of the, what do we have? 11? Yeah. I was like, we each get one.
I know. There's still time for the others.
Yeah. Maybe one day.
Okay. So we're going to, and I have to apologize for my voice. Can you tell that I'm still a little froggy?
A little raspy. Yeah. Recovering. Everyone's been so sick this year.
I know.
I feel like,
I'm all, I know.
We like it though. It's sexy.
Okay. Thanks.
Love it.
So Clairsentience. Do you want to take it away?
Yeah. So Clairsentience is a feeling like what Kalina was saying. It's like almost you're feeling the vibes, the emotions. You can get a physical sensation. Like a lot of times we'll say, oh, I felt that. I'll like feel it in my gut or I felt it in my heart or I don't know. How would you describe it?
Exactly that. It's a feeling that you get. And so we could deep dive here in a lot of different directions. Clairsentience is picking up on not only your emotions or being super in tune to your own emotions or feelings, but also being super in tune to other people's emotions, which is clairempathy. Yeah. If you're feeling like clairsentience and clairempathy, we're kind of squishing together because clairsentience is having that heightened emotion. Clairempathy is feeling other people's emotions.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. An example just came.
Yeah.
We were doing a reading and one of the ladies that I was speaking to, her grandma came through and while she was excited and grandma had a little message, it was great. It was her birthday recently. It's just, she was excited to hear it. Afterwards, later, I was talking to her and I was like, oh, it wasn't grandma you were hoping would come through. Almost like I felt that emotion. I was like, oh, you were hoping your cousin came through. Like it was a whole shift that I could feel you weren't hoping for that. I don't know if that makes sense, but totally. I was like, okay, I can kind of feel she was actually trying to pull in this other family member, you know?
I love that you jumped right into mediumship stuff because one of the ways to tell if you're a medium is being a physical medium, which we've talked about a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like having clairsentient at a super hyper in tune version of it while you're channeling, because being a physical medium is feeling physical sensations that the loved one on the other side has either experienced or they're helping you feel like how they passed. And I am definitely a physical medium and you are as well, right?
I am. It's not one of my strongest ones, but yeah. And I feel like the more we've talked about this, the more I open up and dive into my other clairs is the rest kind of start to come through. So this one this year has been coming through a lot stronger for me, but I feel like this is one of your strongest, I feel like.
Well, when I'm reading people, it definitely is.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing a medium reading, if somebody, and trigger warning, but if somebody committed suicide, I will a lot of times take a moment to feel how my own physical body is feeling. Because if it were pills down the throat, I might actually feel that. Or if it like, I'll feel like almost like I'm getting choked up.
Yeah.
If it is something like a congestive heart failure or heart attack, I'll quite physically feel my heart start to hurt. And I'd like to say it's like a numbed down version of it.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like if somebody shot themselves, I'll know exactly what side of the brain or like, exactly, because I will feel it in that temple or that side of my head. And it's like excruciating pain. Yeah. But the second I recognize it, it goes
away.
Yeah.
I felt it for ovarian cancer. It's like, and also I have PCOS. Like yes. And so I can feel those cysts around the ovary. So for me, that's how I relate it. It kind of feels like that. And then I'm like, oh, my ovary. I know it sounds weird, but I'm like, oh, my ovary's hurting. Like when I would have a cyst and I'm like, oh, was it ovarian cancer?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It's mild. It's just for me, it's a tiny shift. Like I can start to feel sensation. It's not like really painful, but like how you said, it really numbed down.
Yeah. So in day-to-day life, you can kind of notice if you're picking up on the sensations of other people if you suddenly get a feeling that is foreign that you didn't have a second ago. So like a lot of times, like if I'm sitting in yoga teacher training, there's a lot of women in there. And if I'm all of a sudden I'm feeling like crampy, like I'm having PMS cramps, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's not even that time of the month. I'll be like, wait, this isn't mine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good example.
And then I'm like, who's on their period?
Yeah.
Like, who's sitting next to me in excruciating pain? Yeah.
This Claire's
and
coming
so
through.
like if you're noticing something that feels foreign, or all of a sudden you feel like aggravated or hostile or angry or something, you're like, wait a minute, this might be my husband's who's in the next room. He's really pissed off at for whatever reason.
Usually at us.
Yeah.
Just joking,
True
babe,
story.
if you are listening. Should we play a little game?
Yeah, what game do you want?
I like it. Okay, so we have this game. It's Vibe Check Challenge.
Love.
And we're so one person is going to describe a room that they've recently been in. It could be like a wedding, a dentist's office, wherever. Without saying the place, the other person has to intuitively guess the vibe of the space. Was it happy? Was it chaotic? Was it loud? Right? We're going to tap into that. So... And because Kalina and I obviously know each other, we're friends, we know what we did this weekend, things like that. I think we should both pick something that we haven't talked about. We don't know anything about, right? Obviously. So you go first. I don't know. Give me a second. I was like, do you have one?
I think so. Let me see. So it has to be a room that I have been in.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm going to describe the room without saying what it is.
Yes.
And without attaching any emotion to it.
Yeah. And then I'm going to see what I feel. I'm going to tap into Clairsentience.
Okay. I'm trying to think of a good one.
And one that we don't know about. Like, we obviously can't do church.
I'm trying to think of one that has a very strong emotion to try and pull not just you, but our readers to try and like engage that clairsentience. Yes. So I have one. So this is a place that it's large and there are lots of people. And there are people coming and going in and out of this place quite often.
I'm feeling grocery store.
No.
Okay.
Wait, are you supposed to guess what it is or the emotion there?
Oh, I guess I'm supposed to do the emotion. So, okay, sorry, keep going. I don't know why that came in.
But that was a good guess.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
I'm after what I just said, I'm like, yeah, that actually would fit for my description. Okay. But it's not it. But
okay, I know. I felt like I was shopping.
Let me try and be more descriptive. So this is a place that people come and go and nobody stays there for very long. Not every town has one, but most places in the world have one. Most states have one. Most countries have one.
Oh gosh. Okay. That threw me off. I'm feeling like busy, almost like a little bit of stress, like a hustle.
Yes.
Like a hustle, not like chaotic, but just like almost like it's an errand you're running. I got to get in, get out.
Yes.
Right? Like a quick. Mm-hmm. But then how you described it throws me off. So I'm trying to tap into what I feel.
Okay, but your feeling is right on. It's totally accurate.
Okay. Do you want to say what it was?
An airport.
Oh, airport. Okay. Yeah, then that would make sense.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of emotions there too. So that one's a little tricky because some people are sad, some people are excited, some people are anxious, some people are really nervous. So that was hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let me think of one. Okay. So the place I'm thinking of has fun things to connect with, things to do. It's free most of the time. Every age loves to be here. There's different activities.
Is it a park?
Oh, yeah. Good job, girl. That was awesome.
Yay! That's funny because when I first closed my eyes, I was like, when I first closed my eyes, I was literally like, I'm going to try and tap into her brain and see what she's seeing. And I said,
oh, you saw it. I swear. So we weren't even doing Clairsentience,
okay,
y'all. It was a different Claire she tapped into.
Sorry. Yeah, that was clairvoyance. 100%.
Yes.
You're like, you
I know.
I'll drink to that.
I went straight to guessing the place too, and you're like, you have to feel it.
Okay, let's play another game.
Okay.
This one's called Energy Detective. Okay, one person picks a specific person that you've recently encountered, and I want you to channel their energy. The other person will ask yes or no questions about the person's vibes. Were they happy? Were they guarded? Were they stressed? The goal is to piece together what kind of energy this person gave off.
Okay.
So somebody that you've recently been in contact with, let's make it a little bit more direct. I want you to think about the last person that you were on the phone with.
Oh, well, before I came here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And their energy, and kind of tap into their energy and just think about it. And I'm going to try and tap into how their energy was.
Here. Can it be like, does it need to be through text, phone call? Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter.
Just the very last person. Okay.
Just the very last person and like whatever your conversation with them was. And I'm going to try and tap into the energy of that person while you're thinking about them.
Okay.
Trying not to tap into your head.
Okay. And I'm trying to throw you off because I'm trying to think different things.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm not saying anything then, right? You're just seeing what you feel.
I'm feeling... Okay, so this is interesting because I'm getting two. Immediately I felt excitement and like super excitement. And then all of a sudden I got really sad. So I feel like I'm getting two different people.
I think it could be the same person.
Oh, okay, great. So maybe this person is going through, like, it's almost like the passion and excitement is like fire. Like I feel fire energy, like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about what's going on. Mm-hmm. But then there was a sad energy to it, like almost like not complaining, but I need to vent about this one thing really fast because I'm having a really hard time with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very accurate. I mean, I don't want to say.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
I don't want to say what friend I was talking to. But yeah, that would describe her. Not just her energy on a daily basis, but today.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was good. That was spot on.
Okay.
Okay, you go.
Okay. I'm going to close my eyes and think about this person. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'm feeling more just like in the masculine and more kind of like not high and low, almost kind of even. But lately there's been a little bit of stress, anxiety, maybe even like, I feel stress, anxiety, maybe a little bit of conflict, tension, but I feel it's like kind of like even kill, almost like they're not a hyper person. Either it's female and she's more in her masculine, or it was a man. For some reason, I'm feeling masculine energy and I can't get the actual physical sense of their physical body.
Yeah, that's right on.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So the person I had just talked to was my mother. I talked to her for a while today.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And she is very even killed.
Yeah.
But she does have something going on that was stressing her out. And now now it's kind of transitioning. She's very excited about the transition.
Oh, good.
And she is more in her masculine, all the time. So like that was 100% accurate. Okay. And I don't talk to my mom every day. So you would not have known that.
No. Because when I tried to tap into a name and who it was like, no, you're not going to get that. Just feel it. Yeah. And so it wasn't anyone specifically. Yes. I was like, I'm just going to go.
Yeah, I'm glad you listened to that.
I'm trying, girl.
Intuitive. Yeah, that was great. That was good.
That was fun.
That was fun. Okay. I like that. So do you have any other stories or anything relating to clairsentient that you can think of? I have a really freaking good one.
Oh, let's hear.
Actually, I just thought of this.
Tell me.
It's medium, not necessarily... I like you said, I think clairsentience is one of my stronger ones. Clairsentience is easier for me to pick up on because I'm so in tune to my own emotions. Mm-hmm. So when there's something foreign there, it's easier for me to pick up on, right? I'm like, whoa, where is that coming from? That is not mine. Mm-hmm. And anxiety is a big one. Like if I'm feeling anxiety, like I don't have that. Yeah. So like when I feel it, I'm like, whoa, where is that coming from?
Yeah, I guess this one is a strong one for me. For me, that's not as strong as the physical. Like you're saying, you can feel if they swallowed pills, I'll feel a little bit, but if it's emotion, I agree. The emotion is a easier one to pick up on.
So one of the stories, and this might be triggering too, so I always like to give a trigger warning.
Yeah.
But I was giving a reading once, and I was having that physical sensation of I was being a very physical medium, and I was feeling like I was rolling. And then all of a sudden I felt like my face was squashed up against something cold. Mm-hmm. And I realized, this person passed. They were in a car. They had rolled and then they were up against the car window. But then I felt so nauseous. I actually thought I was going to throw up. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so, so sick. And so I got up, I kind of walked around, I put my hands on the wall, I like grounded. I was like, I'm so sorry, you guys. I have to like pause for a minute because I don't feel well. And I explained to them what I was feeling and what was going on. And they're like, my friend actually rolled her car and she vomited and she choked on her vomit and died.
Oh my word.
And it's like, I felt that physical sensation of like the nausea from the car and like the visceral reaction from the accident that I was like, holy moly, it was very hard for me to like tap out of that. And that I think was one of the most powerful times I've ever like clairsentiently picked up on another person's emotions or feelings.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's like wild.
It kind of is
to where
crazy.
you had to remove yourself and be like, hold on, I need to like reground. Give me a second. Cause you felt it so strongly physically. Yeah. That's amazing. Okay. As you were talking, one came up. I felt like almost that a seatbelt was being wrapped around. I was doing a reading and I felt like a seatbelt was being wrapped around her hips. And then as I felt it go around her, it's almost like I felt that sensation of the seatbelt on your hips. And if you slam on your brakes and it automatically locks and pulls. Yeah. So it's interesting because you were saying the car one. This one came to mind. Pull against my hips, but I was like, obviously it's hers. I felt that. But then that was also because her dad was coming through and he would kept here. And then I heard seatbelt, but I felt it. And then I felt the belt wrap around her hips. Yep. And so I was explaining it to her and she said, yeah, because when I was a teenager, I was in a horrible car accident and like they thought I was going to die. I barely made it and I survived obviously. But yeah, she said, but my dad was so mad because he always pushes seatbelt. And I didn't have my seatbelt. And so it was almost like my hands like locked around, like felt that around her hips kind of thing.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I think clairsentient is a big one that like, I don't think I can do a reading without tapping into that. I feel like I naturally rely on my own feelings of my emotions, but also the physical body, which are two very separate things, like the mental, physical, energetic, emotional. Like there's so many different ways you can pick up on energy. Yeah. So how, Kaci, would you say, how do you tell the difference for those learning or want to tap into it? How do you tell the difference between
your own and theirs? Yeah. That's such a good question. I feel like it just takes practice over time, but I will say it's hard for me to answer it because for me personally, I'm really in tune with my physical body. Yes. I can tell when something's off and I'll tell my doctor, even if I get blood work back and he'll be like, well, here's what this shows. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm feeling. I feel like it's actually, I know I have this vitamin deficiency. I think it's more the deficiency versus my hormones being off. Like I get they can go hand in hand, but here's what I feel. And I'm really usually pretty spot on with what I'm feeling. Like I felt the ectopic pregnancy I had before I was told it was an ectopic pregnancy. And like, I don't know how to describe it because I think that's beautiful, right? I can feel it so strongly for myself just on a day-to-day basis. So it makes it easier to be like, oh, this isn't mine. That's theirs, you know? Yes. I don't know what tools you could do to I feel like that is the biggest tool is learn yourself so well. Meditation will help with that. We've said meditate a lot, but meditation will help with that huge. I also like when I ovulate, I can feel it. Yeah. And my sister's like, no, you can't. And I'm like, yeah, no, actually totally I can. And it's the same way, like if I take any recreational anything, drugs or anything, I can feel the switch in my body when it happens. Even if it's like the tiniest amount of anything, I can feel it. And so I don't love any type of drug or medication or anything like that because I feel, I feel like the energetic shift that I can't, even after I had babies, like I couldn't take any type of like painkiller or anything because it hits you so hard. Yes. Yeah. And so I'm a sensitive when it comes to any type of thing. And one of my teachers said it really great. He said the cost of being a sensitive is being sensitive. Yeah. So all of the people who like told you your whole life, you're too sensitive or get over it, or why do you overreact or you're overly emotional. You're so emotional. Yeah. Well, that's actually a good thing. And that is a sign that you are clairsentient is because you feel so strongly. Yeah. And I would say, I also call it an HSP, a highly sensitive person. And there's a book called that. I highly recommend it. It's a highly sensitive person. It will just kind of help you know more about yourself and maybe what triggers you when you're feeling extra sensitive. But the way we're talking about this for the Claire, I think it's a powerful tool. Some people will say it as like, oh, I wish I wasn't so sensitive or I didn't feel things so deeply for people or whatever. But it's kind of like a a superpower in a way.
It's the craziest thing you just said that, because I literally just thought it's a superpower, and you said it's a superpower.
We were feeling each other.
I know, it is a superpower.
Yeah.
I think if you stop and you think about it, either you or maybe somebody you know is really good at reading people. They know when somebody is off. They know when somebody's lying. They know when somebody is a good person or has a good heart. Those people are probably clairsentient. They're getting feelings, but the difference is, do you listen to those feelings? I have a friend, a mutual friend, and her gut is her strongest intuitive vibe. The gut is clairsentient. That is our second brain, and that is our our solar plexus chakra.
The mommy put it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like that is, if you're hiring someone, how do you feel about them? Don't ignore that. Or if you pass somebody in the grocery store and you
get a creepy vibe.
Yes,
is that where you were going?
yes.
I felt that right before you said it. Yeah.
You just
don't
know
ignore it.
Something's off. Or like if you're like, hey, I need to not go this direction on the freeway. Like trust your intuition, trust your sense of feeling, because that won't lead you astray ever. It's there for a reason.
Yeah.
I think we, in our society, we're told to push down how we're feeling and just fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Or to even like numb it. Like a lot of people are like, this is too much. I'm feeling too much. It's too strong. And then even sometimes like they'll try a medication or recreational drugs. Like you want to numb it because sometimes it is overwhelming and it's too much. And we totally understand that.
And that's okay.
And that is okay if that's what you need to do. But I'm just hoping that maybe something we say here will maybe give you the courage to kind of tap into it more, learn how to maybe calm it and quiet it when you don't want to feel it so strongly, learn how to put up that energetic wall when you're not wanting to feel other people's things, but also like use that to help yourself, because you're going to feel what's going on in your body physically, emotionally, and be able to get to the root of things. Maybe like why you were triggered by something. You're able to self-reflect. That self-awareness is, I think, easier for you to tap into because you're so in tune with your body.
And I think that's part of, I don't remember which episode it was, maybe 2 or 3, but how to protect yourself it's so important when you're clairsentient, but also like when you feel empathy or sympathy for others, like you can really take that on. And so knowing how to protect and how to like kind of save yourself from other people's problems, you going down with them does not help anyone.
Yeah.
And so
everyone's going down with the ship.
Yeah, exactly. So some stones, rose quartz for stones can promote unconditional love. Redondite balances emotional energy. Malachite protects against emotional overload. So those are green and pink stones. That's heart chakra, but also any yellow stones if you want to make it stronger. So those stones really that I just mentioned, rose quartz, redondite, and malachite, will help kind of calm the energy if you're feeling a little bit too overwhelmed. But if you want to tap more into your clairsentient, then any yellow stone, tiger's eye, it's the one I always use. There are also herbs and plants that you can use.
Yes, there are. Some of the herbs you could use would be lavender. You can use this there's lavender tea, there's lavender essential oils. You can diffuse them. You can apply them on your feet, back your neck.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed emotionally, lavender, anything will help you.
Yeah, it's very calming, very grounding. And it's such a powerful plant. And the essential oil of lavender is really powerful. They've studied it at Harvard University for anyone going into pre-op and post-op. They checked their blood pressure before and after. The surgeons that diffused it during surgery versus those that didn't, their blood pressure remained stable throughout the whole thing, before, during, and after, which is really fascinating and so beautiful, because a lot of times you're feeling nervous before you go in. So obviously your BP is high, right? And it's elevated. And so,
I love lavender.
Yeah.
I have a lavender tattoo.
Oh, I didn't know that. You do?
My side boob one.
Oh, I love that. We love a side boob lavender tattoo. That's fun. Chamomile, of course, is very calming, grounding. And then lemon balm. Oh, I love lemon balm. Lemon balm is also in a lot of tinctures as a mood stabilizer. Anyone struggling with anxiety, depression, lemon balm is so incredible for those. So that's very calming and grounding.
Okay, so back to the yellow stones real quick. I want to pull this up really quick. So Citrine was the one I was talking about.
Oh, citrine. That's it.
Yellow topaz, amber is a great one. Any of these, yellow jade, any of these will help you strengthen that solar plexus energy, that chakra. Random fact, Claire empaths often have a strong intuitive bond with animals and children, as they easily pick up on pure and unspoken emotions. Regular grounding practices like walking barefoot
Is it for empathy or sentience? Okay.
Clairsentience, often people walk up to them and tell them their life story without them even
everywhere.
Yes. Yep. Like if you're at the grocery store and somebody just comes up to you and is naturally talking to you and telling you their problems. If you are a therapist to your friends, if strangers come up to you, chances are you are clairsentient.
Yeah. That happens all the time. All the time. To where my kids are like, Mom, I swear if you start making friends with the cashier, the people in line, like I'm just going to the car. But a lot of times I won't. I'll just be like, hey, how's your day going? Or hi, how are you? Well, I was doing okay, but then I got a phone call from my mom before coming into work. She's struggling and I'm already starting to feel it. And I'm like, does she have breast cancer? And she's struggling. Like, I'm like, hell's bells. Here we go. And then I'm like, I'm so sorry. That's got to be difficult. Before I know it, we're exchanging numbers, giving hugs and,
I would say that is most of the time how we talk to so many people when we go out. And again, we sound like we go out to bars all the time. But really, like whenever we go out,
restaurant, like grocery store together, like it doesn't matter.
And that's why I know in one of the other episodes we talked about this, but when you go to the bathroom, into the ladies' restroom and there are girls in there and I'm always making friends and always talking, it's because when you're out of the bathroom, this is like woman's secret 101.
Yeah.
When you are in a restaurant or a bar or a club or anywhere, you're almost on, right? Like you're around other people, so you fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah.
When you go into the women's bathroom, it's like all walls come down.
Yeah.
If you're a little bit nervous, if you're sad, it's like your true face shows. And maybe their face doesn't actually change, but their energy shifts. Like
you can feel like their insecurities, or if they're like on a date and the girl's like second guessing herself, and we're like, "No, girl, you look beautiful."
Yes, and I think that's part of the clair empathy or the clairsentience is when we walk into a bathroom and immediately I like start reading people. It's because their walls are down. I instantly feel like their needs. So I'm like, "Hey, I'm so sorry," or
that's a good way to explain it.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
They're able to be almost a little more vulnerable. There's not that pressure of putting on the face. Yeah. Yes, we both have that happen a lot.
We do have that happen a lot. I like, on the flip side, it's hard because I think, that saying, put yourself in another person's shoes. I never wear my own shoes.
Right?
I'm always in somebody else's shoes.
Yeah.
So even when like somebody is not nice or somebody is whatever, I'm like, I totally get it because they're going through this.
Yeah. Or that's their trauma speaking. Like we can feel it.
Because
Yes. That's not how they normally would respond if they weren't going through X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
And then it's hard not to take it on. Then I'm like, oh gosh, they're in a lot of pain to not like take that home with you.
Yeah. And you're just like, okay, I get it. This has nothing to do with me and everything to do with you, or you really need extra love right now. So I guess it kind of depends on what your role is in life, what your position is, what your job is, how to block, how to utilize it for your own skill set and your own benefit, but also make sure it doesn't suffocate you and drown you in your own feelings and emotions, because it can get pretty heavy.
Yeah, it can feel like a lot.
All right, Kaci.
Let's wrap it up.
I love it.
I'm Kaci Carlson.
I'm Kalina Converse. That was really high pitched.
She had a voice crack. It's fine.
I'm Kalina Converse. My voice is coming back.
And this is
Medium
Mixology.